Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Lost in Translationmon. This time we're covering Digimon Adventure: 2020, episode 38, The Blazing Blue Friendship. I'm May, and I'm joined by the lovely Quinn.
Hi.
And of course the equally lovely Evie.
Hello.
And with all that, no housekeeping this time, except for if you hear birds, I've got the windows open. I'm sorry, it's hot again for some reason. But that's about it, so I guess we can move on to the show. Straight away from just the start of this show, I am so on board with this episode. It just starts with this creepy aura, and I mentioned it in the Moncast recording this morning, how much I love creepy auras, because we were talking about it happening in Digimon Tamers in Juggernaut, and then I mentioned how we had the Vedamon chanting and being creepy with Millenniumon. And then just now we have this episode also having a creepy aura, and the sheer eeriness of this episode just beginning. It just has, Mephistomon, who is a demon hellbeast thing, chanting
I love
creepily.
Darkomon here.
Oh, absolutely. And it's such a good Digimon design. It is very much Devimon is very much just okay, that's just a dude who really likes leather and he's evil looking. Next. This one is actually, this is just a hellbeast. This is something that will be
design.
Yeah. And it's back from Tamers, because it was in Tamers and it evolves into a hideous hellbeast, which had a human face. Yeah, that was terrifying. So, yeah, straight off the bat, we have Gabumon on a cross and just Mephistomon chanting, and it's so much, but it's such it's a great opening because it just.
But we already had
Jessmon. Yeah, we already have that Digimon. Not in this season, but we do have that Digimon already. But the thing is, this also reminded me of, I think it was an episode of 02 where it starts off with Gabumon being a prisoner or rescuing a prisoner.
Yeah, we're doing a real reference to that.
Oh yeah.
And next week we're doing
Was that
Frontier.
also a Lekmon?
I believe so.
Yeah, we're doing Frontier next week.
Wasn't it? It was Gotsumon, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right. It was Gotsumon. It should have been a Lekmon for this reference, but yeah, you're right. I think it is.
I'll just put Gotsumon on the cross.
Yeah, but and it still gives me that sort of feeling that I'm pretty sure the first episode, the first intro to that episode was also Gabumon being with prisoners. And also there's one that's similar where Gomamon is in the same sort of situation. So that's sort of, I don't know why. It's not even a reference. It's just something that reminded me of it. But in general, the opening is just so strong. And then we then see Yamato doing some parkour with some Troopmon that have bad aim, but actually then hit him. Which is just oh my.
Yamato is just fearless, and it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I kind of like it.
I don't think he's fearless. I think he's desperate.
I think
just
he is.
The degree to which he can climb a mountain with no handholds and run from missile to missile is just ridiculous.
I actually did. I mean, I guess we're jumping ahead a bit, but because otherwise I'll forget it. But when I was watching that, I was starting to say, wow, that is so unrealistic. But then I remembered when I was in primary school and there were monkey bars, I could do obviously not from that great height, but I could jump from monkey bars without holding on to anything from one bar to another and not break anything and not fall.
Oh yeah,
and I could do
it's not that I think all of the feats of athleticism are impossible. It's that he doesn't even once look down while jumping from unexploded missile to unexploded missile. It's amazing. I love it.
It is really cool. To be fair, if it had to be anybody, it would be Yamato or Taichi. Oh, it is so dumb. But I'm not. I thought it was cool, and I don't know. I feel like Yamato is the cool one, and the English dub of the original series always Taichi would say, "Oh, Yamato's too cool," and even though Taichi would say that self-proclaimed cool guy, it was always just Tai that was saying that Matt was cool. But anyway, English dub, and also not this season. But in general, we just have Yamato being super cool. And then he gets actually hit by the Troopmon, which is surprising. And then we have a sudden plot geyser, which just shoots Gomamon and Joe at Yamato, which is just, It's so much just
what
like
an
it's just
ending to
plot
that
it's plot
completely
convenience.
uninteresting segment I was hoping we'd get to. I wanted Joe to be
Yeah,
like in charge of this group of old men. Show me
Yeah,
Joe's cult of Nanimon.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed we're just not getting his Onsen adventures at all. Like, I just...
Oh,
and
that all just happened. Okay.
Yeah, and Joe kind of explains it, and Yamato looks so bored.
Yep.
He just looks so disinterested, and then just thanks Joe for coming. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, I think him being here was not really his intention. It seemed like he just sort of happened to be here now.
Yep.
But anyway, it's fine. Yeah.
Fine.
Like,
I wish
there are
these
just plot
characters made
conveniences.
decisions more.
Yeah. I think Mimi's made decisions.
Occasionally.
She's definitely the best written character, and she didn't even have any lines in this episode, which I just feel like is offensive.
Yeah.
Like, she should have lines.
Yeah.
And whenever she's not on screen, people should be asking, where's Mimi? I know I do.
She made tea cups out of leaves.
And a bag.
Yeah, but the bag was a lot less impressive than a waterproof cup.
Oh, yes. Anyway, so we have Joe's there, and then we see Elecmon variants also captured on crosses and are being converted into energy into a black crystal. And then we have the cast then discussing how it's probably related to what Taichi's group are talking about. And it's like, oh, we're back to Millenniumon. Oh, good. Which...
Yeah, apparently...
I mean, he doesn't show up in this episode.
What we've been doing for the last 5 episodes has been trying to prevent Millenniummon from happening, and that was news to me, but I guess it's good.
Yeah. And then Mephistomon's here, and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm surprised and happy to see Mephistomon. It's fine.
Yeah, no,
I like the
good.
sort of creepy things. Yeah. It's very Tamers, how they're just sort of like killing and then absorbing Digimon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like it.
Then
we have Yamato.
The human sacrifice angle. It's so silly.
Oh yeah, it's so silly, but it's just I know it's kind. This is it's a pretty scary episode. All things considered, like it. You know, it's creepy. It's ominous. It's got some eerie things happening. I like it. We have Yamato having quick flashbacks, and it's sort of almost implied that Gabumon was like passionately wanting to save some other Digimon, and Yamato was kind of maybe not wanting to, but they went along and did it anyway. And Yamato got separated from Garurumon, and then Yamato asked Joe and Gomon to help him, and Joe is so happy and like excited that Yamato asked him for help. It's so sweet. Like, he's so like happy with himself. Like, oh, I was waiting for you to ask. I'm so happy you finally got to ask. Oh, he's so happy, and it's just. Joe in general is just so nice. I miss Joe. I'm surprised we haven't really seen Joe for a long time.
No, Joe
like, when was the last time
relief for 10 episodes, give or take.
And in this episode, he was actually really cool.
This episode really brings me back to that whole, hey, you know all those bad episodes where we just didn't care about the plot because we had to do all the evolutions? All of that should have been a time skip.
Yeah, the Devimon arc should not have existed.
Yeah. It was pointless. We could have moved from like episode 8 to episode 30 in one episode. Anyway.
Yeah. Remember Soundbirdmon? The writers don't.
Oh, yeah.
I literally did not.
That was a threat. That was a thing that was relevant until Devimon showed up and then never was relevant again. Like, at least in the original adventure, they had the remnants of the Black Gears were still sort of around
yeah.
even after, like, Devimon was destroyed, because, of course, they were just sort of flying around. So it was kind of weird that we kind of gave up on Soundbirdmon existing. And remember how it was able to control Digimon?
Yeah, no, that was cool.
Yep.
I think the
That
writers
was cool.
heard me
Apparently, there were all
complain.
volunteers on this other continent that existed the whole time.
Yeah, it was just sort of shushed away, and I don't know. But anyway, so that's not this episode. We then have the next shot having Ikakumon firing at the cliff face with some Salamandermon, who is a Digimon who debuted in 2002 on the D-Scanner toy, as well as the card game, and is actually an armor evolution of either Tentomon or Chumon with the Digimental of Courage, which is just wild to me. Yeah.
Alright.
Because that happened.
Chumon, the pink mouse.
Yeah, the pink mouse or Tentomon.
I'm here
Which
for
one fits more? I don't know, but I love it.
I didn't even.
And-
I only thought the 02 kids Digimon could armor Digimon. I didn't.
No. Any Digimon can use a Digimental, but it is not been done for a long time for reasons. Is what we got in 02.
The card games played with it, and the CD dramas played with it. Like, Palmon, I believe Digiyama's Tachia-Galmon, which has never been drawn, but should be.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's kind of nice how the franchise, even after the airing of 02, like 2002, that's when Frontier was coming out. So the D-Scanner toy and the card game coming out with the release of Frontier, and we're still addressing the Digimentals of Courage. And Salamandermon has been in the anime before. He was in Cross Wars. I believe he was in the good part of Cross Wars too, the Death Generals arc. So that's a thing.
Like maybe my favorite thing about Salamandermon in this episode is the idea that we can pinpoint accurately fire harpoon Vulcans, but we cannot hit Salamandermon.
Yeah, he's too good.
He's just too good.
Strong. I love Salamandermon's design, even though it's like so simple. It's just like, it's the lizard but on fire. He's red and on fire. He looks like magma is on fire. He's just like Slugma, but a lizard. And I love him.
Yeah, lizard's good.
He is just Charmander.
He's a good Zard.
He's Charmander, but more fire.
Except they didn't change the name. They just went, we'll just put Mon on the end. This is Salamander. Just roll with it.
I love it though. I don't know. I like these sort of designs that are just nice, and again, it's one that we haven't really seen much of, and I don't know. I just really like design, and also another Armor Evolution, also a lesser known one, I guess. But so that's cool. Anyway, back to the plot. We have Yamato climbing the Harpoon Vulcan spires, and then we get a Taichi's group update, who have all somehow reunited with Takeru and Hikari, and obviously Sora. Koshiro, not Sora. Sora was with Taichi and Mimi. So they've all reunited again, even though it was almost implied. They were separated, and then Komodamon fell asleep, so started to veer off. So I was under the impression that they were going to
we were doing
have their
another
own
separation arc within the separation arc, and apparently we just decided everyone's fine.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm good with this.
It's probably just comedic relief to explain why half the cast was missing last episode.
I mean, yes, because we're gonna briefly do some more plot, and then we're gonna do another separation arc. That's
absolutely. Like, it is, this is the first time in 38 episodes the whole cast has been together, and it happens at the end of this episode, and I can't imagine it being for long. Like,
next episode we get Venom Myotismon.
Pretty much.
Do we?
In original adventure.
Oh, in original adventure, yeah. I was about to say that wasn't in the preview.
They're all finally together.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. But they separate a lot less in the original. But anyway, I guess that's jumping ahead a little bit. So, they've reunited Takeru, Hikari, Mimi, Sora, Koshiro, Taichi. They're all in the Komodamon. So they reunited off screen. That's fine. And I don't know why I was kind of surprised. I thought that they were going to be split up again, like in another group, and we're going to have a Koshiro, Takeru. I can't even speak. Takeru and Hikari episode.
Well, that was never going to happen. So.
No.
To be fair, Hikari has had a lot of the episodes lately, so yeah. Anyway, I just want to point out that I'm a big fan of the colour variant of Elecmon showing up, as well as the Jabikmon from Cross Wars. I just like seeing different Digimon show up. Even though, yes, it's Elecmon. We've seen Elecmon before. This is just a colour variant who's been around for about as long as original Elecmon, maybe a year or so after, maybe, if not just the same card game set. So it's just kind of nice to see all these different variants, and I'm still waiting on seeing Modoki Betamon, who is
the Digimon Worlds.
Yeah, just Betamon, but what if more neon with the pink mohawk? And I'm just like, that is the superior Betamon in my opinion, just because that's a cool mohawk. I like very much. But color variants, they're cool. I like them because they're not really appreciated much. Except for in the Digimon World games, which I can assume is just because they would have required less space to put in color variants.
Oh yeah, no, palette swaps are an old tradition.
Yeah, like Digimon World 3 had a desert type Airdramon, still called Airdramon, but was just sand colored, and it was just really cool. And it's just really nice to see. I just like seeing color variants, and yes, it's just very much like, well, we need to put more Digimon in the game, but there are limitations, so let's just change their colors. But it's fine. It makes them...
And I like the days when palette swaps didn't require a mode change.
Yeah.
You can just have, this is the virus version, please.
Yeah.
I think like the whole Amaterasu server on Digimon World 2003 was just a colour swap.
Yeah, that was just a colour swap. Oh, they had like some, like, I guess they had like the AOA officials who were kind of looking evil and standing around. But yeah, you're right, it was just a colour swap. And you know what? It was great. That was such a good game. That game is so good.
I haven't played that game in a long time.
I never finished it because I think I put like maybe 100, 200 hours in it. But I think I'm up to like the last boss. It's really hard. I have to grind more, I think. I'll pick it up once I've moved and I have my PlayStation again. It is somewhere. And no, I think my the CD of Digimon World 2003 is super old. It's just giving up. So I think I just wanted to not illegal. So I just copied the BIOS from my PlayStation and I copied the CD itself. So I made the ROM from the CD and I copied the save. So it is as unillegal as possible because I wanted to feel like it was the same game that I had started when I was a kid. Anyway, sorry, color variant's cool. Anyway, so we have Takeru mentioning how he and Yamato don't live together, which we're finally getting, by the way, which is... I'm just happy. I know it was just a quick sort of... We didn't even get any flashbacks or any images of the parents. We just find out that they don't live together, and... Takeru doesn't say the word divorced, I think. He just says that they had a fight and they were both busy with work and they don't really home much. And then he went with his mother and Yamato went with his father. But they're still able to communicate because technology, I guess. But I kind of like how he didn't say divorce because maybe he's like young and he'd maybe not have like... He doesn't really have a concept of what actually has happened. They just kind of don't live together and he may not grasp it. I don't know. It's kind of...
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's because if they're going through a divorce or they've finalized the divorce and just TK doesn't.
Yeah, I think Takeru is just not supposed to understand very well yet, but I think the divorce is probably final.
Yeah, but it is a nice if that's true and it's just him not understanding it. That's a nice take on it. Like, he doesn't really... I guess in the original, he kind of... Like, when he sees his mother and father together again, he's happy about it. Like, he thinks they're getting back together, but it's not really touched on much. Like, it was always sort of, yeah, he understands that they're divorced. But in this, if they give him sort of, like, he just does not understand. He just knows that they fought a lot. They were both away and working, and now they don't live together. Mm-hmm. That's his understanding of the situation. Like, he hasn't really grasped it. That's a different take on it, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, no.
However, during this part, I noticed that, like, this is my only main animation gripe with the episode, and I won't touch on it too much, but it's weird that TK's head is so big and his neck is so small. Like, that there's a shot and it just does not look like his neck should feasibly be able to support the weight of not just the Patamon on his head, but also his head in general. I'll put up a screenshot in Discord, and I'll put this in the link dump as well, just so everyone can understand exactly what I mean. But I mean, it's all the necks in that shot in particular, because Taichi's also there, Koshiro's there, but TK's head looks like bigger than the rest of his body.
He looks like a Funko Pop.
He looks like the models in the Generation 4 remakes. Like, he's a South Park body, sort of head and feet. Like, not really much there. It's just, and again, it's you know, it's the minorest animation thing, and it's only in this part of the episode.
But it's very funny.
But it is very funny. Like, I'm not, you know, going to, like, my enjoyment of the episode actually probably went up because of this, because I had a good cackle about it.
Yeah.
But it's just... It's so funny, like, how can he support his head, the hat, and also the giant pig hamster? I don't know. It's cool.
I love how big Patamon is in the series.
Yeah, which makes him being on TK's head even weirder.
He's a chonk. He's a chonky boy.
But how swole should TK's neck have to be to support that weight?
Oh,
like,
TK should be dead.
Patamon weighs, like, the same as air, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mimi should be swole from carrying the series. TK should be swole for carrying Patamon.
Yeah.
Like,
Mimi's not that good. I don't know what you're both on about.
When Mimi
compared
is
to the rest
on
of the cast,
screen, she has personality, and it's been good the entire time. She's just not been around enough to carry the series, which is why the series was not very good for the Devi Monarch. She wasn't around enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not listened. I've not listened back to your opinions of last week. I'm assuming you both loved it.
I know Quinn liked it less than you did, from memory.
I no longer remember last week because work has been insane.
Quinn gave it a 2, and Evie gave it a 3, and I gave it a 5.
Wow. Mimi's been consistently the best thing on screen with that 2 last week.
Yeah, well...
I think it was because... Okay, the reason was because I gave it a 5 based on if Mimi's grandfather's actually the big bad, and Quinn gave it a 2 on the basis that sounds too good. Mimi is just, she just maybe just idealizes a concept that isn't necessarily that good.
Yeah, no,
like it's
Mimi's
attempting
just
to be
a
good.
child and does not understand that just because her grandpa is nice to her doesn't mean he's actually a good person.
Yeah. And now I have the headcanon that he's the big bad and he's trying to buy all the tech giants and he is actually Millenniumon.
So this episode
And that's
sure
why I
does
gave it a 5.
establish the weird idea that you can fight fake news with random truthful facts.
Yeah.
So that's
But anyways,
weird.
so that's
and
basically...
not true.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically discussion that you missed out on, Evie. It was just a lot of that. It was just a lot of socialism.
This episode was almost good.
And Mimi never paid the employees.
No, she sure didn't. And
she wanted to form a union. She doesn't want to be a boss. Yep.
Yeah, no.
But anyway.
She let them own their own labour by the end. She just left.
Pay them. Is it though? Anyway, to this episode, we have Agumon just...
Kingdom.
Yeah. And you're not servants for today because that's kind of tactless given the social climate of this episode. So you're now
my
employees, but I won't pay you.
Oh god, she should just
you're
call
my
them
interns.
interns. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are getting paid? Anyway, so back to this episode. We have Agumon just coming in and just breaking the tense situation with just grapes on his head and just says, "Let's eat!" And it's just funny. It's just
pretty good.
We're having like this tense moment and we're finally getting some personality from TK and, his relationship with his family and his parents' situation. And we actually get to find out that they have parents because I don't think many of them have mentioned having parents. That's something that has just not been mentioned, really.
Many parents
covering
have forgotten they
things
have
that-
children.
Yes, basically.
We're covering things that came up in episode 3 of the original series. And it's episode
Yeah, but-
38.
And we're
But it's
coming
not-
back to things we brought up in episode 1 of this series.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It
Yeah, it
took
is.
so long for them to establish any character.
Yeah, like I
backstory.
said, Devimon arc just should have been a time skip. Nothing important happened.
Yeah. But, I don't know, it's just really funny how Agumon just comes in like, hey, I know y'all are having some character moments, but I have grapes on my head, let's eat. It's just so funny.
It was pretty
And
good.
we have Taichi just thanking him, and then Taichi starts thinking about Yamato and Takaru, and then that transitions us to what Yamato's doing, which is being knocked off a cliff face. And while he's falling to his death, we finally get to see how Yamato arrived in the net at the start of the show, which is, honestly, I was surprised about. I kind of didn't think we'd ever get, and this is how this character entered the series. I don't think we'll get it again.
I would be
But-
really surprised if we got a how Mimi met Palmon moment.
I want that, but maybe that's just reserved for them, like, getting to their ultimate forms. We get, like, something, but honestly, I'd be surprised if we got anything, but I'm honestly just surprised at this point to even get to see Yamato getting there and meeting actually Sunomon. It is nice to see that we actually still have the in-training level Digimon, and it's just a nice scene in general. Like, we have Yamato just immediately, straight off the bat, telling Sunomon to just find someone else because he's not interested and he doesn't have the time. And it's just... And then we have Sunomon just following him, and it's kind of adorable. And then we get to see how Algamon attacked Yamato and Sunomon jumped in front of the attack to protect him. And then Yamato just grabs Sunomon and runs. And during this time, Sunomon's glowing. And then Yamato ran at the Algamon to protect. And Sunomon evolves to Gabumon. And it's so nice seeing this flashback. And while it's sort of a little bit similar to what we had with Koromon, it's different enough that, Taichi straight away wants to make friends, and we have Yamato just saying, hey, I just want to find the exit, leave me alone, why are you following me, find someone else.
That was pretty good.
Which is definitely a new take. Like, maybe Joe has said something similar to, hey, you're a
But a
chosen
lot
child.
louder.
Okay, choose someone else. And I just like how Yamato is just like, yep, go choose someone else. Which is just, I don't know, maybe I'm just easily impressed that Digimon can be not terrible But I'm just sitting here like, nah, this is kind of nice. I didn't expect this little flashback sort of thing. Meanwhile, we have Mephistomon, who has started to absorb Agabumon, and he's chanting, and this sort of gets in the minds of Yamato and Joe and Ikakumon's head, and Ikakumon mentions that this voice must be controlling the Troopmon, and then Joe remembers the textbooks. Remember, Mimi threw these in the swamp, so he doesn't actually have these anymore. Remember Mimi throwing them in the swamp?
One.
That was cool. What?
Because one was just the one.
I swear she threw, like, all of them.
I no longer remember.
I think
know
she
why.
grabbed one out of his bag and just threw it in to test it.
I think you might be right.
I must be misremembering, because in my memory, it's so much funnier. In my memory, she's just grabbing them and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, she's just saying, like, what happens. But
She's
I
not
think
that
you're right.
inconsiderate.
I think I'd prefer
Yeah, I
if she
don't
was. Like,
remember
that'd
at
be
all.
funny. Yeah, but yeah, you're probably right. It's probably 1. That sounds more realistic. Well, realistic, we're throwing them into a digital swamp. I don't know. Anyway, we have Salamandermon charges at Yamato. Yeah. And then Yamato slips and continues to fall. And then we see Joe, who has started chanting some stuff from his textbooks. And he just enters like an avatar state. And it causes the Troopmon to also chant along with Joe.
I
which
do
is
not
like,
get this. What?
It is so much like the Mind Over Matter stuff that we got in the original adventure, which the English dub just had it as Bakemon Lose Your Power.
Yeah,
And
no,
it
and
is
they did, and I'm
it's so nice.
here for it, but also, like, we've set up Faga as the bad guys, and the idea that the right way to deal with fake news is just any facts is wild to me.
Yeah, it's just really funny, and then the Troopmon start to chant along, and they just like chanting. They don't particularly
Look,
care what you're trying to
they
get.
good as long as they got a cult to join.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, ooh, a cult involving history and then chemistry. Sign me up. It's funny, and I like how Joe's glasses start glowing. As I said, he's in the avatar state.
He channels
I'm
Gendo.
I'm going to tell my children that this is Aang. Like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell my children that Gabumon was Jesus and that Joe was Aang. Like, that's how that goes.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Those equally important characters in our culture.
Yes.
Yes. Aang, definitely. Or as I heard that the live action called him Aang or something. I've never seen it.
Wow.
But it's definitely not. But that apparently happened. Anyway, so Joe is surprised because I am also surprised, and he stops, and the Troopmon are still chanting along, and then we have some, I don't know, the background music during the scene is just, it must be a new track, because it feels different and unique, and it's just really cool, and I'm also just really happy that Joe got to do a thing, and it basically saved the day.
Yeah. No, like, this is a lot like the episode where Taichi got the new Evo, where it's just like, oh yeah, this was just kinda someone else's episode. At least Yamato was involved in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, this was definitely a Yamato episode, but it was really, like, maybe it was like 70% Yamato, 30% Joe, or maybe 40% Joe,
Yeah.
and like 60% Yamato, which is, honestly, that is I prefer it to like 100% one character, and maybe the other characters are there.
When we did not actually get a new evolution this episode.
Yeah,
I was happy that we didn't. We
I
got
was
the
super
silhouette
glad
of
we
Metal
didn't.
Garurumon.
But
So we know that we're going to get Metal Garurumon
sure.
because we saw the silhouette, but and also apparently you do see Rosemon's cape in the last episode. Apparently, people have told me.
I just missed it. Okay.
Yeah, I actually missed the Metal Garurumon in this as well. I had to go back and pause. It's very much just sort of, you're putting a 4-legged creature over a 2-legged creature with wings. It's kind of like a harder one to see, but it does exist, and I guess Rosemon is the same. I haven't gone back and checked that. Rosemon's there?
Is it just like in the aura when they're powering up?
Yeah, it's like a silhouette sort of thing that's over the top. But
cool.
People are actually saying that they didn't like how there wasn't an evolution in this episode, but I love that there's not, because it makes evolutions feel more important, and we're not just giving them an evolution whenever we get 10 seconds of character development or anything.
Well, and this is the first time I felt like a crest anything mattered. Like, I actually thought friendship was an important theme this episode.
Oh, definitely. And it was, because we actually just have Yamato more or less yelling, Gabumon, you're my friend!
I was gonna go
That
with
happens.
Gabumon, I'm your buddy, but okay.
I'm your buddy. But it's his first buddy, which is just, it's so nice. Like, also, just disregard TK existing. I guess they're not friends. Whatever.
Nope, don't count.
Yeah,
But
he sure
I guess
didn't come
family.
up this episode.
But that's the thing. Like, TK mentioned his brother. His brother didn't mention him.
Thank you. Actually, no one needed to shadow Nichan.
Which is great. I'm kind of glad that this episode wasn't just... And then Takeru, Hikari, and Koshiro managed to plot themselves over to Yamato, and then we just had them yelling on Nichan again, which I don't need. I'm fine with this combination of Joe and Yamato. We've seen them work together before, and it's a nice sort of combination. Anyway, so Ikakumon protects Yamato from Salamandermon, and it's really cool, by the way. Joe is so cool in this episode. Like, he's just sort of like cheering, and he looks so pumped up, and it's just, I'm so happy for Joe existing. Like, yay. And then we have Yamato doing some sweet parkour that we mentioned at the start of the episode, which initially made no sense, but then when I remembered what I could do on the monkey bars, I was just like, oh, you know what? Checks out. Whatever. I don't care. It's like, it's a show about monsters on the internet, that you are inside the internet and these monsters have sentience but also can shoot lasers out of their boobs. I'm not going to start questioning why a child is able to jump between monkey bars, because I was able to do that when I was his age.
It's not that I question him being capable of making some of those pretty sweet jumps. It's that I really think we needed at least a moment of him being indecisive and then, being filled with determination or whatever. But, like, we should acknowledge that this is pretty unusual.
It is reckless, but at least it's a reckless-ish character. Like, I feel like the only characters who could get away with doing this so fearlessly are probably just Taichi and Yamato. And so I guess Yamato just kind of... He has the crest of courage and friendship in this episode.
It's about stubborn determination.
Yeah, basically. So
the crest
then...
of Deltarune.
Yep. Yeah, I get that.
No.
I get that reference. Yamato reaches Mephistomon and Gabumon and breaks through a barrier, and it causes him pain. Gabumon tells him to leave and calls him stubborn, and Yamato says his stubbornness must have rubbed off on him, and how he changed and gained something important when he met Gabumon. And then Yamato says that Gabumon was his first friend, and reaches for him, and they break through the barrier with that glowing magic orb that we've mentioned, like, just must be Digivice power, which is, I guess, the reason why they don't fall to their deaths whenever they're riding their Digimon, I can only assume. And then we have Gabumon evolving to Garurumon, and then to Were-Garurumon. I don't know why in my notes I wrote Were-Greymon, that's not a Digimon. And then the writers remember that Sagittarius Mode exists, which for some reason I'm surprised about. I don't know.
Why is it called Sagittarius Mode? It's nothing to do with, like, centaur bows.
I think because it shoots, like, arrows out of it. Like, that's his, like, attack.
Yeah,
it's
like,
wings.
You really gotta want it.
Yeah, you've really got... It's not, like,
I think they just picked a fancy word.
They basically... I think they made it... They just picked a word that sounded cool, and then went, arrows, that's the connection. Sure, whatever. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. I think we went on about this when that
we
first happened,
did.
but yeah, you're right. It is still weird, but I'm glad that we're remembering that Sagittarius Mode exists, because I was always kind of worried that we just would forget that they exist, these new Digimon that we've spent time showing.
Yeah, although I still wish the
Then
other kids had gotten upgrades.
Yep. Yeah, me too, but as long
Maybe
as they
got a full workforce. That was her upgrade.
I mean,
that's fair.
But also Lilymon's just cannon should have been upgraded by the diamond or whatever. That would have been so cool.
Yeah. Give her a bazooka. That'd have been really cool.
I still want the
That's what
fire
I'm
bazooka.
saying.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Anyway, so we have Were-Garurumon then glowing blue, and I love Mephistomon's little adorable gasp before he dies. He's just like... It's kind of adorable and unexpected, and I'm just sitting here like, oh, Mephisto.
He is a goat.
Yeah, and he's so cool. Like, he's just like, it's adorable. I just didn't expect it. Like, oh no, I kind of almost feel bad for this evil Digimon. I mean, we don't really know if he was evil. We just know that he was kind of eating Digimon, but not in a vor way. He was just, like, absorbing their data, which is also a new take, but he wasn't eating it himself. He was putting it into the evil crystal.
Yeah, well, he was serving the cult of Millennium Mon, as people do, and I guess that's fine as a motivation for a character who can't talk.
Yeah, which, again, love when they have Digimon who just aren't just like, ha ha ha, I'm evil. And that's what they say. That's all they say. And then that's their character. So it just give me just Digimon who are just monsters and who just make, like, that Vegemon in episode 30 is still one of my favorite things. It just screams. That's how he communicates to the army. He just screams. So just give me more of that. That's fun.
Yeah, I think it's clear that Mephistomon has intelligence because of the chanting and strategies and stuff. But it's like, it doesn't speak English, which is fine.
He just speaks, like, maybe Latin or something. I don't know, whatever evil goats speak. I'm just assuming that all goats are fluent in Latin. That sounds like it would check out.
Oh, wait, he speaks Japanese with subtitles. That's what I meant.
Okay, I get what you meant. So everything's encased in ice now, and Mephistomon breaks open, and then Gabumon and Yamato high five, which is kind of their thing. And then at the end of the episode, Gabumon is amazed that Yamato climbed the cliff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
As
yeah,
are we.
same. That is a good thing to point out. Thanks, Gabumon. I am also kind of impressed. And then Yamato said that Joe and Gomon helped, and so did Gabumon. And then we have Takaru showing up, and he calls out to Yamato, and then the 8 children are finally all together, like reunited, they get to meet finally, because I think half the cast, I don't think anyone's met Hikari or TK, like, at all.
No, yeah, I'm not... other than the cell phone thing that we sometimes pay attention to, but couldn't use this week for no reason, I'm not sure some of these characters really should even be aware that others exist.
Oh, no, I think they all were together after the Seedramon episode, and then Dark Knightmon showed up, and then Angelmon happened, and then there was like an explosion.
Oh,
they got
you're
separated.
right. They did all briefly meet.
Yeah, after the boat plot. But it was like an episode, and then they were just magicked away by the plot, because that happens. And so the episode ends, and for some reason I only just noticed this, but I was watching the ending theme, and I realized that the book that Gomon is holding out is just called like Kirena Sakana, which is a pretty fish or beautiful fish. And I'm just
I thought you'd seen that before. That's why he wants. No, that's why he liked that book.
No, I didn't. I wasn't paying attention enough, but that is so cute. Like, I'm just guessing it's rainbow fish, like, or
Most
something.
likely,
The similar sort of story. But I'm just like, oh, how did I miss that before? That is so precious. I was just caught up in the like autumn clothes that they were all wearing. I missed the absolutely adorable like Kirei Nasakana. That's adorable.
Very good.
Anyway, so it's the Digimon Encyclopedia time, and we get to know all about Eldoradimon, and then Koshiro asks us the real questions, such as, what does Eldoradimon eat, and who fixes him up when he flips over? And I'm just like, okay, that's a legitimate question. And Koshiro says he has endless questions, and wonders if he can ask for an interview, and I'm just sitting here saying, I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he went into the vortex with Leomon and Spartamon. I still don't know why that happened. They were just kind of like,
I forgot
after last week's, I can't tell if those characters are coming back.
I don't think they are. And if they do, I feel like they should have a really good reason for how.
They will not.
That's like definitely like if that is the death of Leomon, that's definitely the worst death of Leomon in the entire show. Like, it's just so anticlimactic. He just kind of went into a vortex. And next time we're going to find out about, I'm assuming it's Lotmon. It could be Terriermon, but yeah, it's probably Lotmon.
It is my bud.
I think it's Lotmon.
I love.
It's Lot.
Anyway, on to the discussion. What were our highlights this week?
Joe. Everything Joe.
Yeah.
Joe was pretty great.
Yeah, I liked Yamato having a character. I was kind of not looking forward to this episode going into it because I'm not like the biggest fan of Yamato, but it was kind of nice having him just being a lone wolf, and we actually got we actually got to see him have back to what I was saying before about the crest, like, yeah, this does feel like it was a crest activating, but I feel like Koshiro also, when we have him having episodes, like, that also seems like a relevance to his crest. But yeah, definitely this episode seemed to tie in with his crest and how we had him not having friends before this and saying that Gabumon was his first friend. And in fact, even having those flashbacks of he didn't want to help. He just sort of said, hey, find someone else, leave me alone, I want to find the exit. I don't have time, I don't want to help you. So it's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of nice. And then we have Yamato just doing some very reckless, crazy things to save his first friend. And it's just kind of nice. It is a refreshingly, surprisingly not terrible episode, and yeah, I have a few highlights, but they're more just like, this episode wasn't bad. That's a highlight in itself. Like I liked the episode. I liked how it actually looked like we actually
paced episode.
Yeah, it's like they actually cared about writing the characters and them having actual personalities, which in a lot of episodes sadly hasn't really happened. But this is the first episode, well, one of the first episodes that feels like we actually do want to write the characters as having, like, they started off without, you know, with some flaws, and then they grew from that, which is what Yamato, we kind of get with flashbacks. So this episode itself is kind of like a nice sort of almost standalone episode where you don't have to watch any of the other episodes to get the idea. I don't know. Yeah, I like the episode. Yeah, my highlight is the episode. I liked, and also Joe being helpful, and it being a Joe episode in the way that he helped, and having the chant, even though it was kind of like a weird moment, like he entered the avatar state for some reason, but I don't care because it was cool, and it was just nice to see Joe happy about something. So yay, I liked that. I'm easily impressed. What can I say?
I definitely want to know, like, if we're gonna do this whole avatar state thing, like, and I think we just introduced a major plot point as a gag. I definitely hope that they're building to something with that.
Oh, I cannot imagine that they would. Like, I'd be exceptionally surprised if they go anywhere with that.
I don't know.
I think it
like,
was
we've done enough with the whole fake news thing and Faga.
Yeah.
I'm like, someone clearly thought about this, and
yeah, you're right.
so I think
I
we're
don't
gonna
know.
do something.
It struck me as more of a callback just to the original
Yeah.
Bakimon episode, and just
Yeah,
kind of being
I
like,
thought it was like
study is a ritual. So
Yeah, I thought
don't know.
it competes
the
with those
white
chants,
aura
I guess.
competing against the black aura felt like a thing Digimon hasn't done before, and that they should.
Yeah.
Especially if it lets Joe
Yeah,
do something, and it
Yeah,
makes...
I just...
Oh god, no, I got it. Hikari's gonna have to glow, and all the
I don't
Digimon
want that.
will...
I- we've already pointed out that if her name is Light, when Tailmon said it, I don't think we need to do it anymore. If we just have Mind Over Matter come back, like, even if this is just a reference to the original series did bring it back in the Vamdemon arc, where we had the Bakemon again. We just were like, oh, remember Mind Over Matter? Hey, we have a CD player. Like, that came back, so maybe this would also come back again, which I really hope. Like, that would be nice, and it is just nice having Joe do something. Like, I feel like he's been kind of the comic relief, like, hey, look what's happening to Joe. He's in an onsen with some creepy old men.
Yeah.
That's
No,
just Joe's...
He saved the day for a bit.
Yeah.
For a change. It was
Yeah,
good.
he definitely was. I mean, it was a Yamato episode. Yamato was the, I guess, hero, but also Joe was probably as much as a hero too, because he chanted some Mind Over Matter stuff and it was really cool, and he was also as surprised as I was that worked, but it was very cool. And he was happy, and that made me happy.
I love that he was just trying to get his headache to go away. What a mood.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, Joe. And surprisingly, Gomamon didn't shine as much as Joe did, and usually it's just Gomamon shining and not so much Joe, but today it was
got
Joe.
To be a character for a day.
He Joe-gressed. I like Joe, in case you haven't noticed, but I also like Yamato, particularly in this episode. I don't usually like Yamato, but in this episode, he was alright.
I like edgelords.
I was pretty grateful all episode not to be watching a green tank top with leather gloves.
Yeah, he does have that hand brace, like the bit of material around his hand, or
That's
arm
true.
though.
It's
Which
very,
is the same colour
very
as the shirt.
Rika in design.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Edgelord Lone Wolf wanted to be alone.
God, when
Had a
Joe
first
took
rank
off
being
the
a Digimon.
sweater thing, he looked so much better. Please just wear the button-ups.
Yeah. Any other highlights?
Donnie Darkomon was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Mephistomon, of course.
Why?
And the eerie aura in general of the first chunk was just like, oh, that's so creepy. With just the chanting and oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, this is the future liberals want.
With goats.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I like goats. Goats are cool. I approve of this Digimon design. Even though we've seen him before in Tamers, it's just nice to have him again. And this time he's not a creepy human hybrid thing. He's just a Digimon that is
He's
just
there.
a bad guy. Yeah, I like that. Ready to move on to lowlights? We got any more highlights?
I've got something.
Highlight or lowlight?
Oh, highlight.
Yay, more highlights. Yes, let's go.
I really like that it was Gabumon that really set up this whole plot and made
Yeah.
the decision to save these sacrificed Digimon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody got to have a personality.
But we've sort of seen similar this season where Yamato won't necessarily do the hero thing if it's not immediately relevant to him. Like, remember at the start we had Namon and they wanted to get to the Leomon army, and Yamato was just like, next, let's just leave them here, they'll slow us down. And I can imagine the same sort of thing happening in this episode.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, we know that, like, this isn't immediately, or may not be immediately relevant to Yamato's purpose at the moment, which is, I guess, to reunite with the rest of the group, or to defeat Millenniumon, get back home, find his brother, that's that sort of thing. But Gabumon wanted to do the hero thing, and they kind of did the hero thing because Gabumon wanted to. And again, you're right. That's something
awesome.
that we sort of
it's like a Digimon acting independently of their partner.
Yeah, and the human partner continuing to have a character that we already saw previously, which happened in episode 11. So it's nice to also say that, hey, remember this thing that Yamato, he's not really like a hero. Like, he doesn't want to just do and he save people. Like, it does, if it doesn't really concern him, he won't necessarily go. It just so turned out that the Black Crystal is likely to do with Millenniumon, so it was connected there, but he didn't know that at the time.
Just like Yamato won't intervene unless it's relevant to him or Takeru.
Yeah, that makes him a character. That, you know, a lot of people don't really want to, they'll sort of live their lives, they won't do anything evil, but they'll just kind of live their lives doing their own sort of things. They'll probably still be a good person, but they won't go out and fight evil. Like, this is kind of like a normal person.
What makes a man go neutral? Thirst for
Being
power,
a fruit? I don't know.
revenge? Or were you just
Get it?
born
Mango?
with a heart full of neutrality?
I made a joke. It did not land.
It's okay.
You were both making jokes, so I don't think I got either of them.
Futurama.
Well, Quinn said mango, and I was just like, that's a fruit. And that it's like when I was looking at Uber Eats the other day, and I just saw a plant-based potato cake, and I'm just like, I know that they mean the oil, but still, plant-based potato cake. What do you think a potato's made out of? Anyway, do we have any other highlights?
Patamon,
No?
Big Chunk.
Oh yeah, the big chonk.
I'm just happy to see him every week.
Grapes
Oh,
on
and
head.
I'm honestly happy to see Pegasusmon every week. Well, not every week, but most weeks. Like, even this episode, random Pegasusmon. Totally on board with this. Also, Yamato probably hasn't seen a Pegasusmon before. They've probably heard about the Pegasusmon, but now he's seen a Pegasusmon. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
remember.
just like Pegasusmon existing. I don't know. It's just nice to have being there.
Yeah.
Lowlights? Because I don't have any lowlights except for the TK's head and neck situation in that one screenshot, but I'm not really going to say that's a lowlight because it gave me joy. I can't think of anything that was necessarily wrong with this episode, like, that wasn't to do with the whole series
I'm
having
iffy
problems.
on the Avatar state, especially. I don't know, if it doesn't ever come back and it was a one-off joke, that's weird, and if it does come back, I'm not sure I'm a fan.
Oh, it's very weird. It is like, that's just magic that just happened, but I'm not going to, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's vague magic that just sort of happened.
Maybe, like, that's the thing, is that feels like we're just sort of doing a thing, and maybe that's gonna be a thing that we can do from now on, occasionally, but also, I would love it if there were, I don't know, a giant stone tablet that could explain what just happened.
If we got that, like, next episode, it would be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, just random plot tablets that just sort of show up. Like, that's just some writing, and I'm not even going to complain at that point.
I was
That's
gonna say,
just
we've
kind of
done
cool.
it in
I just
this
love
show before.
We've done it so many times in this show. It's to the point where I'm just waiting for the next plot tablet.
They just find quest markers. We're playing an
we're
open world
literally just
RPG.
looking for the plot coupon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just the plot of Skyrim, where you just go around walking in a strange land and just reading things that give you knowledge.
That sounds accurate.
But
yeah.
also real life. Real life does that too. You go around in a strange land and read things and that gives you knowledge. So basically, yeah, real life, that happens. But yeah, do we have any other lowlights? I just can't think of any. I'm just too stoked on this episode, but I had such low expectations going in. I was just like, oh, it's a Yamato episode, and we've had, like, quite a surprisingly large amount of good episodes or not terrible episodes in a row. So this one must be an absolute stinker. So I had such low expectations going into this. So I have no lowlights because I had no expectations, and that worked out really
about
well
this
for me.
episode, but I still hate Matt. I just do.
Well, yeah, I hate Matt because he decided to talk to a tree, and the tree was like, "How about you kill your friend?" And he was like, "That sounds like a great idea. I should do that."
I think it's
You're
time
not
we
going to
let that
question
go.
me?
It's been 20 years.
I'm never letting that go. It's just so funny to me. And then he got an evolution. Like, Metal Garurumon wasn't evil, but should have definitely 100% been evil because he just decided to commit manslaughter.
Yeah,
Like,
Metal Garurumon was just completely okay with trying to kill his friend.
and he wasn't at first. He was just like, "You shouldn't do that, Matt. You shouldn't do that." And then Matt's like, "But I wanna." And then he's like, "Well, okay, if that's what you want to do, then I will do it." I know, I started to go Phantomon in that. I only have one Digimon voice, and it's always
You do, in
Phantomon.
fact, have exactly one Digimon voice.
Yeah, no easy task. That's the, and it's not even a good voice. That's the only thing. I don't have a very, I don't do impressions. I just speak in different tones and hope for the best. And it's always Phantomon. Phantomon's just my spirit animal. Literal spirit. Anyway. So any other lowlights? Please give me lowlights, because I don't have any.
I was kind of confused as to why Salamandermon just fell off the cliff. But that's literally...
I believe
High up.
that was Joe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it didn't even, hit Salamandermon.
I believe
I feel
that,
like there should have been some rubble.
yeah, it really should have
I
been
don't know.
made clearer how any of that happened, or also we could have just hit Salamandermon with one of the pinpoint accurate missiles.
It was odd. I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be the cliff shaking, or whether it was Joe's mind waves. I don't know. It was odd.
I think Salamandermon, it was kind of behaving like lava in this episode, so he kind of fell off the cliff in the same way that lava kind of floats off. I don't know. I'm
That's a
really
stretch.
grasping at straws here. Yeah, that's. I am exhausted from that stretch. I just need to do some
Just
some cool down.
Okay,
Like-
maybe he'll bring it back around. And nope, that was the whole thought.
I definitely need some muscle relaxants after that stretch, because that was such a stretch. I'm pretty sure I just kicked my entire computer. That could have ended really badly. Glad I didn't do that. But yeah, that was definitely a stretch. Salamandermon, yeah, just kind of there should have been some rubble effects. You're right, but I'm not one to complain about things that I will point out the funny animation issues, but that's because they're funny.
I'll have a low light of all those characters got back together and we didn't even acknowledge what happened.
I think we didn't have time to. We might next episode, before we just happen to have the plot happen again and we're just separated again for the next 20 episodes until they decide, hey, we have to wrap this show up and we have to have them reunite for the second time ever. I don't think they're going to be together for long.
Oh god.
Do you know
we're
what
gonna
I
get into the
dislike?
separation arc.
Joe's not in the onsen. Oh, that's my low light.
Yeah.
Where was the Joe in the onsen adventure?
They
I'm
they
very
kind of
emotional
just did
about
it off screen. Just like, oh, we just pulled the plug and got sucked through.
Yeah, and that wasn't
Which
good.
is kind of cool, but it could have been animated at least. I don't know. But at least it was a good episode, but I would have preferred to know about Joe's onsen adventure.
Yeah.
But maybe we don't have the time for that. And I'll complain in 10 episodes when we've had another boat plot, and I'm just like, this could have been Joe's onsen adventure. But for now, I'm just sort of like, at least this episode was good.
Yeah, it was fine.
Any other lowlights?
I dislike that anyone that's not been following this series now just gets to see Gabumon Jesus floating around Twitter without any context.
Yeah, Gabumon Jesus
Yeah, just-
was weird and maybe unnecessary.
Yeah.
Also,
It's
I
gone
just-
far
By
enough to where my friends have shared it, and they don't even watch Digimon.
It's definitely it's been all over Twitter for the past week because it showed up in promotional material. Likewise, Potamon, who is showing up next episode, is also all over Twitter because his head is just potatoes. I'm just really happy he exists. But also, we need to stop talking about Vor, but now they're just making Digimon that are food.
Yeah.
So that's going to be hard.
Well, last
Is it,
highlight.
is it
Any-
Jambumon,
The
those
teacups.
rock ones?
Jargaimon, because Jargaimon is potato.
Jagamon,
Or
that's
Mono,
it. I
rather.
knew it started like a jam.
Yeah, it's Jargamono is potato, so Jargamon is a pun.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's like Digimon's favorite pun is just because mono is
Yep.
thing or person, So we have, like, for example, on the Vital Bracelet, we have Namakemon, or Namakemon, being lazy person. That's the poop monster, that's the bad care one. You get a lazy person, it's a sloth. Then we have Bakemono as Bakemon. So yeah, it's Digimon's favourite pun because they don't really need to do much. It's a concept, and it's I don't know. Again, I'm easily impressed. Are we ready to move on to favourite character?
Yeah.
Well, mine was Yamato because I've chosen Joe before multiple times, and I haven't chosen Yamato before, I don't think. So I'm choosing Yamato, but also because he was kind of like, he was a good character in terms of he had a character. Like, he was a character. He had a personality. He kind of doesn't want to be a hero. He just kind of wants to do his own thing, but was a hero anyway, and that's kind of his thing. And now he has friends. And he actually had almost an actual reference to his crest because he had friendship involved in the episode, so that was fun.
Do you know what was really smart? All the moon jumping he did to foreshadow becoming an astronaut.
I like that. That's really good. I hope he becomes an astronaut in this version as well. Evie, who is your favourite character this time?
Oh, Gabumon, easily.
That is fair. Mine possibly would have been Gabumon, but I just thought I'd give it to Yamato because he is a character I don't usually like. And, Quinn?
I guess I'm gonna go with Joe. Been a while since he's gotten to be a human being.
All of those are really, really good choices. Like, A+ choices. Like, ones that I would have chosen if I hadn't chosen Yamato, so yeah, I like that. As for rating, I probably gave this too high again. I gave it another 5. I'm sorry,
What?
I don't know what's wrong with me. I really like this episode. I'm sorry, please don't
Okay.
crucify me like Gabumon. I like this episode.
I think just May needs to operate on like an out of 7 scale, and the rest of us will carry on being out of 5.
Yeah, I probably need to go through my ratings and alter them, but this is one of the better episodes that we've had. It was just really nice to see characters, like be characters. It was nice to expand upon characters that we already had. Like, we already kind of knew Yamato was kind of like a lone wolf, kind of not, as I said before, not really a hero kind of guy, just kind of wanted to do his own life sort of thing. And I just really liked that. I liked the fact that we actually had Joe having a character and doing something fairly important. I like the fact that he wasn't just a damsel in distress that we've seen before. Yeah. He kind of also saved the day. It was just really nice. So I really liked this episode. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a 5 for me because it's definitely one of the stronger episodes of this season, and it's better than other things I've given 5s to. And I just really enjoyed this episode. It was good characters, good atmosphere. Mephistomon was creepy. I cared about the characters. I was concerned for... We saw Elecmon straight up die, but I was concerned for the Elecmon. I was concerned for Gabumon. I was concerned for the characters. Maybe not Yamato just doing just acrobatic leaps of faith or something. I don't know. It was just really cool, and I really liked this episode. I can't imagine liking many other episodes other than like after this, because I still don't have high hopes for the show. But I just really did like this episode. It was just really fun to watch, and I just really like seeing characters be characters. Evie, from your reaction, I'm assuming that yours was not a 5?
No, I'm not.
Would I be right?
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
That's fair. That's still like above passing grade, like a little bit at least.
Like, it was a good episode. It was just also long overdue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely long overdue, but that is a problem with the series. Like, as Quinn said, like, very much, you could just time skip from episode 8 to episode 30 and not miss much. It was just, yeah, it is very much long overdue. Like, I will agree with you there, but it is, overall, I'm rating the episode and I just enjoy. I'm glad that we got it, is the point. I'm glad that we got this episode instead of just not getting it. Better late than never sort of thing. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It is like, well overdue.
We didn't get character development for Yamato. We just finally got to actually see what his character is.
Yeah, and it was kind of, it's something that's been hinted at, like, different aspects of his character, and this sort of brought it all together, but it is very much just, like, it would have been nice if this show gave it earlier, but...
Yeah, I'd like to know what the characters are like earlier than 38 episodes into the series.
And it should be noted that, like, he doesn't grow in this episode. His only priority at the beginning and at the end is saving Gabumon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A bunch of other Digimon died, and he's just cool with that.
Yeah.
There was no change in Yamato. There's just been a change in the writing, actually, talking about
Yeah,
it.
basically. But I don't know. I still enjoyed it. And Quinn, what was your rating?
I'm gonna go with a 4. It was a decent, solid episode.
So that means overall we gave it a 12.5, which I think is actually somehow a unique rating. We haven't ever overall given something a 12.5, which means that puts it just above episode 1 and episode 9. Episode 1 being obviously episode 1. Oh, there's also episodes 16 and 17, which we also gave 12s to. So where are those? Episode 1, 17... 17 was the battle in Tokyo against Orochimon. Episode 1 was episode 1. What was the other one? Episode 16 was the Jet Black Shadow Invades Tokyo, which was the one that Evie did not like, but Quinn and I liked because it had the chicken avocado burger, which we were just really emotionally attached to for some reason.
Hey, it was the last time we got character development out of Mimi for 20 episodes.
Yeah, which is sad. That is very sad. So, would we say that is better than the chicken avocado episode?
I would.
Sure.
I would too, Quinn.
I disagree, but that's
okay,
fine.
so...
It was just avocado burgers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
I
just
think
the
it was chicken
avocado.
avocado.
It was the...
Oh, really? I swear it was...
Something Jack. Burger Jack's
Jack.
avocado burger.
Because I know that because I just saw that for episode 19, Quinn gave her favourite character being the Burger Jack sign.
Yep.
Because that was an abstract concept, not anything in the episode. But anyway, so that means that episode 38 is in 7th place in our overall ranking, which seems fine, just below episode 6, which is the Targeted Kingdom, which is just like Mimi's introduction episode. So of course, if that's a good episode, it's got Mimi in it. And so in my ranking, I put it in 3rd place. I really like this episode. And actually, I think I might do a quick adjusting because I think Lemon Blossom is still better than this episode. So I'm going to quickly clack the keyboard as I move episode 12 above episode 38 because, I don't know, I just really liked the idea that she just kind of told Andromon that she wasn't forgiving Andromon. I don't know, I really liked that episode. It was really cool. It had Lilymon. I like Lilymon. It had Ghibli stuff. I don't know. Anyway, Evie, where are we putting this in your ranking?
I'm going to put it in 15th place, which is right above That Man Joe Kido and episode 2, Wargame. Because this is basically just a sequel to both of those episodes for these characters.
Yeah. And Quinn, where are we putting episode 38?
I guess I'm going right below episode 1, so between 1 and 33.
Okie dokie, I will slot that in. So that is in 11th place. So overall, this episode is in the top half, or maybe even top third of the series.
That's about right. That's about a
According
third of
to
the
all of us.
series you could just get
Pretty
rid of
good.
and
Yeah.
be no worse
And
off.
I still want it to be better than this. I don't want it to just sort of peter out from here. I don't want it to just sort of say, well,
why
that's
you
the
don't
best.
give a 5 to things that are not
I don't.
perfect.
Yeah.
Stop
I don't think you
giving
understand.
things 5s.
I still don't have hope for this show. So whenever an episode is good, I give it a 5 on the basis that I never expect to give another 5 in my life, and that's probably why I've given so many 5s lately.
How many are you up
because-
to? Have you hit
Consider
double
that-
digits?
I can see because of my chart. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is my 10th.
I knew it! Oh my
Okay,
god.
so you seriously
Yeah.
saying 1 out of 4 of these episodes was a 5?
Well, a lot of them have Mimi in them, so the ones that I've given 5 to, I'm pretty sure I've given... I might have accidentally counted my 4.75 though. Maybe, because that one is very close. No, I did not count that, so that is... I've given it 10. I've given 10 5s.
Yep, May's scores are all out of 7. That's my headcanon.
Well, okay, then if all my scales are out of 7, then episode 34 deserves a 7 out of 5.
No, it really doesn't.
5 out of 7
Episode
is
30
a perfect score.
I think episode 34 was the episode where we said that if we change the rating, this one definitely moves. I think that's the episode that
probably
we like the
true.
most.
Yeah.
Is that the top of our ranking?
Uh,
No, Soaring Hope is the top of our ranking. So
Okay,
that's
yeah.
episode 30. Episode 32 we all gave 5s to.
Well, yeah,
Valid.
it was a Patamon episode. What do you
Yeah, to be fair, it was really good.
I think I've only given
So-
like 2 5s, and that was one of them.
I think I've given 1 5.
Yeah, I've
Oh
given
no,
2.
2 5s. You gave 2 episode...
It's the one with Ogremon.
9. Yeah, that is a good episode, to be fair. That was a good episode. Has Quinn given... Yeah, Quinn's given 1 5, I think.
Sounds about right.
No, Quinn's given 2.
Yeah, 2 5s, so which was episode... I think it's the same as me, 32 and 34.
That's about right.
Which are, like, I think those can be 7 out of 5s for me, because those were really good episodes. They were actually good. Anyway, on to questions. First up, we have an email from Ryden, who is a long-time listener, used to write to the show a lot, and recently had a child. So congratulations, Ryden!
Congratulations!
Congrats to him, because, you know, giving birth sounds terrifying, and babies, that's a lot of responsibility. I have a dog, and, like, when he cries, I cry, so I can't imagine a human. Like, so congratulations, Ryden. Anyway, so he says he hates how the season has different evolutions, but the recent discussion that we had on how it's realistic and refreshing partly changed his mind, which is, that is nice. I'm glad that we could sort of convince someone who didn't like the concept of the evolutions being different. Secondly, he says that he interpreted the last episode of how people want corporations to be as an ideal, but having Mimi just overly idealizing her grandfather's work is charming and adds to her character. And yeah, I think that's what I liked about it. Like, yeah, it could just be Mimi just parroting the voice of her grandfather, because that's what kids do. I know, I just still really like that concept. Lastly, Ryden says that it feels like Mimi belongs in a different show. She's definitely not his favourite, but Mimi is so objectively better in this season and different in general than the rest of the cast, and it's like she has a different writing staff altogether. And yeah, she probably hired them, like, to be honest. Like, Mimi is so good, she hired her own staff from a different universe, basically. But anyway, I would agree. I like Mimi, and I feel like her episodes are the stronger ones, but yeah, that might just be me. So thank you, it's good to hear from you again, Ryden.
Yeah.
And then on to YouTube, we have... Making sure I'm clicking on the right episode, because I thought that I wasn't for a second. We have Sleek Emu7, who says that they really enjoyed the episode. Mimi is a highlight of the show, and without her the show would just be boring. Mimi is the second best girl in the series for them, right next to Eri is the first, which, yep, that checks out.
Yeah.
And they would love to see a fight between Eri's Dosukomon and Mimi's Togemon. Blue Robot Gorilla Sumo Wrestler versus Boxing Cactus. Can we fund this? I want that more than I want anything else in the entire world.
I would like that a lot.
I love Eri. I love Ruki, and I love Mimi, like, and Miyako, but Miyako deserves better writing, because I just love the idea of Miyako, but a lot
those
of Zero
Force
Two
just have their own series.
Yeah, of them just, like, being cool. I don't know, I'd like that. Next we have Maxim, who says that they fiercely hope that somewhere in the digital world there are a bunch of Marxist Digimon. I would love to see this, like, different Digimon with different, like, political ideals.
God,
except for
please.
some ideals. Some ideals don't belong in Digimon, like, but it is also, the digital world is created from the net, so I guess there's always the bad parts of the net.
You know, we've already got Zudomon, so we've got a hammer. We just need a sickle on the team.
Yeah, I can dig that. Like, Phantomon!
Phantomon the
Fund
comrade.
Comrade Zudomon, Comrade Phantomon. Like, I can be definitely there for that.
OTP.
Next up we have CJ, who says they understand it's difficult to turn off logic and expectation when watching Digimon, and yeah, it definitely is. I like turning on my children brain. I have a lot of adulting, so I kind of definitely just like trying to turn off my brain, but then when I analyze it, I just kind of can't stop. I really like... It's kind of hard, but anyway, they said when watching Digimon, but this and the next episode encouraged us to do so, and just enjoy the glory of Mimi, Joe, and Yamato. This is a show of subtext, yes, and there is a way to do it properly and wrong. For instance, the callback to Servant 72 and 73 from episode 6 was great, and it was. And yeah, I feel like we definitely approached last week's episode with adult views of the world and of political climates and society, but also I feel like otherwise it's just kind of us saying facts about the show, and I feel like it must be refreshing to have opinions of shows.
No one actually wants a completely unbiased review. We could tell you just the synopsis of what happened in the episode, but that's real boring.
And also, like, the three of us also do enjoy different aspects of the show, and when we have episodes, you know, that I give a 5 to, and everyone else sort of just gives a 3 or a 2 or even a 4 to, that is kind of also nice not to have, like, I mean, I would assume, I can't speak for the listeners, but different, like, if we all just agreed every episode and just didn't have different bits of the episode that we like, if we had the exact same opinion, you're just listening to one person talk at that point, or just the synopsis. But again, it is kind of hard to turn off the adult brain because I have all my adulting that I do in my life, and then I come to watch Digimon and I try to turn off the adulting brain, and I guess I do to some extent, like when I just enjoy an episode for just being enjoyable, but I still will analyze things that
I gotta not have
may seem
capitalism
a little bit weird.
invade my shonen show.
Yeah.
Please don't.
I still wanted Mimi to just be a union thing, and
Mimi should have started a union.
we did touch on it last time, but yeah, with like the current stuff that Toei's going for, with not being super good with unions and stuff, it almost kind of seemed like maybe it was just, I mean, just coming out of nowhere here. If they did just change it from being a union boss to just being an actual boss of the Golemon and Gotsumon instead of just being a union boss, maybe. I guess that would kind of make sense with the stuff that Toei's going through at the moment. If they just said, oh, we can't have unions, but again, we are definitely looking into that more than probably the writers intended.
Also, if you're a worker, start a union.
Yeah. And also, like, your boss doesn't want you to talk about pay slips and talk about pay with your co-workers, but do it. Also, don't get look up your what award, like in different countries, different things. But look in Australia, if you are a professional, you fall under a certain award, and you need to know your rights in that, and you need to know, for example, I know people who didn't know that overtime was unpaid was illegal. So definitely do some reading into wherever you work in your country to make sure you're not getting ripped off. And that is my like TED talk for the episode.
Yep.
If you're a salaried worker or a worker,
the single largest crime committed in America is wage theft by your boss from you.
Yep. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you ever notice, because if you rip off a bunch of people
every month,
it is just maybe a couple of dollars here and there, or maybe an hour per person. That all adds up.
Oh, yeah.
Your boss is just sitting there getting rich, and you are working. There is one of them, and many of you, and that's, and then union. So that is why I believe unions are good. So that was my TED talk, and I guess the last episode kind of became just a TED talk of just like, here's why corporations suck and you should join a union. So we're going to continue that.
I had Cory Doctorow come and talk to my class on Friday, and he used the word guillotine like 5 times, and it was a really great class. I
think all podcasts should actually have the word guillotine in them more often.
Well, this was my classroom. It was great.
I like that.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it is sort of, I sometimes try to turn off the logic, but then again, I think it is personally enjoyable to talk about like the logic side of things, because
this season
otherwise
in
we're just stating
particular,
facts.
like especially anything involving the Koshiro plots, like they want you to analyze this logically. They're just sometimes not very good at it.
No, because again, it is a kids show, and if it was for adults, they would probably touch on things a lot deeper. But again, we are adults watching this show, and this is how we choose to discuss it. But at the same time, if you enjoy like not having logic, then I'm sorry for all the logic talk that we have. You can still enjoy it. Just if you are enjoying the show for what it is, enjoy the show for what it is. I'm not here to tell you what you should and should not enjoy. However, if you are being ripped off by your boss, that is illegal. Just as a little aside, always know your rights. You are a person. There are ombudsmen and things like that you can look into, and Fair Work stuff. I'm sure all countries have that sort of thing, or they should, or at least the concept of it. Well, the concept of a union. If a union doesn't exist, go and form one. Be union boss Mimi that I believe you all to be. But so that was our TED talk was about knowing your rights. But yeah, unions, thumbs up.
Do we have more questions?
Know your rights. Yeah. Next we have Anthony, and she says that she's having a lot of feelings picturing some hypothetical reboot version of Try, where it's just a wistful adult Mimi looking back at what a weird kid she used to be, and how she spent literally 1 second in this amazing fantastical world, and then she did an imperialism and called herself a queen, and then she called people her servants. And it was fun and cute and funny, and it made her feel good. It made her feel like she was going somewhere, doing something, and then she just asks herself if she is a narcissist. And yeah, I feel like we could do some things with that, and that was kind of a big thing in Try, how Mimi was just like, And the dub did it really well, how they translated Jikochu to narcissist. And she's just like, am I a narcissist? And it was just, that was so good. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of Try, but that part got me.
The best part of Try is still the Modcast series on it, in my opinion.
I will also go to bat for Try Abridged.
Oh yeah,
Try Abridged, yeah. Good. I literally mentioned that in the Modcast this morning. I was saying, hey, we were talking about how people just forget Digimon exist in every season very often, and it's just like, hey man, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I don't know, pretending Digimon don't exist. I think about that all the time, how they just stop. Like, they saw it in season 1, they saw it in season 2, in Try, they've forgotten. It's weird. Anyway, Anthony continues to say that a lot of the Mimi episodes are really weird to process on their own, but they're extremely fertile ground for some character stuff later on. Between this and her angst about killing Andromon way back when, and there's kind of a surprising amount of theoretical stuff bubbling under the surface with her. I hope. I would like more Mimi stuff. Next up, they have Red Ranger, who says they appreciate the direction the writers took with this episode in allowing another character to have the spotlight, and asks if can anyone confirm that the new drill attack by Lilymon is called Here We Go. I just think that's just her exclaiming like a battle cry. Yeah. Then Red Ranger says that they feel like Lilymon's new Digivolution scene is similar to how Metal Greymon and Wergurumon got their X-Antibody attacks, and maybe this drill attack is actually just from the X-Antibody Digivolution line. Lilymon X doesn't have a drill. She just kind of is a different looking magical girl, but at the same time, that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly fine with if we just go with, oh yeah, by the way, the cannon just got a permanent upgrade. Like, that would be fine. But I really don't think that's what happened.
Yeah. Next, we have Snide, who feels like that we got way too hung up on trying to make the show follow personal politics, and they think it's the best episode in a long time. From the start, where the kids are just hanging out, to Mimi, who injects a lot of energy and fun into any episode she stars in, and the play between her and Taichi was pretty great. In an alternate universe, there's an adventure colon in which the main character is Mimi, and I'm sad that they're stuck. Well, we're all sad that we're stuck in the universe that doesn't have that, honestly. Snide says that, like me, they enjoyed the animation as well, even though they think they played the same 3 seconds of Gogomon munching on the same rock a ton of times, and their only real gripe is that they're separating the kids again, and they always find the least creative way to do it. Joe was in the previous and next episode, can't be bad, right? He's hoping, and I like this episode. I like last episode. I just like Digimon. I'm sorry. Next we have so many comments this time.
I will say,
I don't know why I'm surprised.
With regards to the personal politics thing, like, it's not really politics to say that your boss shouldn't refer to you as a number.
Yeah, and also it's not really politics to say that you shouldn't be abused by your boss.
Yeah.
Or just like you should have
guess
rights
what I got
and you should
to do
be
all week? Have my boss hurl curses at me. So yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah,
that's not like.
So I have a new job that I'm maybe starting on Monday. Don't know yet.
Hey, congratulations! But again, that's not. It's not politics to want to be not treated like rubbish, like to be treated well. Like that's not necessarily politics as much as it is. I don't know. I feel like basic everyone should, except for people who are already rich, basically.
Yeah.
If people are already rich, then they will probably continue to do whatever making them rich, because for some reason I will never understand why people want like a lot of money. I just want to live somewhat comfortably.
Pretty much, yeah.
And that's like, I feel like at some point a lot of money is just going to be boring. Like, I just bought a house and I've just decided what I want to save up for next that's not a house, and it's just a $10,000 really nice watch, and it's the dumbest thing, but I want it for my 30th birthday. Rolex? No, it's not a Rolex. I don't want a Rolex. It's an Omega Speedmaster, but it's really cool. And
but Domino's Pizza made their own Rolex.
Don't tell me about that. I love pizza so much. I would definitely buy that. But yeah, it's sort of like, I will never understand why people need to have a huge, massive money. And I don't feel like that's necessarily politics. I just feel like at some point you've got to be bored. But they want more, and I don't understand it.
We should move on with more comments, because I'm very tired.
More comments. Yeah, me too. So we have Child Emperor, who says that those 2 logs that Takeru and Hikari were on the same size. Is Takeru really that short that he could sit perfectly straight on that log? His legs weren't even dangling down like Kari. Also, the bottom of his shoes are squeaky clean. They should be extremely dirty from all the walking. I don't think they've ever had dirty shoes.
No one will ever have dirty shoes or dirty clothes that last more than about 10 seconds.
Then
Their
next
clothes
we
should
have
be wrinkled to... Oh, God. Anyway.
Oh yeah, they should be all dirty. Anyway, we have Ritza21 who says that even when the kids are together and not separated, the show still finds a way to keep characters out of fights. It was really necessary to sideline Kari and Koshiro for the episode. Yeah, because otherwise we don't get good character. We can only focus on like 2 characters at a time.
They really can't.
This was shown in last episode, where Sora was in the last episode.
Technically.
But we only focused on Taichi and Mimi.
Yep.
We don't know how to do more than 2 characters, and sometimes a Digimon is that character.
Yeah, we actually had almost 3 characters this week, and only because Gabumon was literally tied to a stake the entire time.
Yeah. But Gomamon wasn't really much of a character.
No, I meant Gabumon was almost a
is.
character.
Yeah.
And then Gomamon was technically there.
Yeah. But, so that's basically it for the questions. Do we have any other thoughts about this episode before we wrap it up?
I didn't fall asleep through it.
Alright everyone, so thank you for joining us this time, and next time we'll be covering episode 39, Jagamon's Potato Hell. Do we have any predictions?
Potato!
Yeah, I'm just really excited about this episode. I like the fact that it's just the best episode of Frontier, hopefully.
Please mention Burger Jack.
Yeah, I hope. Well, if Mimi's there, which
she should be.
I'm predicting straight away that they're just splitting up the group again in the first 5 minutes of the episode. So I don't think Mimi's going to be in this. All I think is that Joe's going to be in this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Agumon's going to eat a lot of food.
Oh yeah, Agumon's going to eat so much food, and I think I'm going to like the next episode because I just really like Burgermon. I don't know why. I think it's just that was the best episode of Frontier, and that was about it.
I just like burgers. Burgers are good.
Yeah.
I got a triple cheeseburger last Friday, and it was so nice.
That's nice. That's nice.
With extra cheese. It was so good.
Nice. Any other predictions? Will we all get burgers? If we like this episode, I feel like we should all treat ourselves to burgers.
I could see going and getting a burger.
What do we consider liking the next episode? Is that like a 3 or a 3.5? I think.
I mean, if you like an episode, it's usually a 5. So.
Well, yeah, okay. I meant for for all of us. Like, I mean, if an episode, I think I've always mentioned an episode starts its life in my head as a 3. Like when I first start the episode, it's a 3, and then it can go up or down. So like, if an episode is just okay and doesn't really do anything to give me any emotions, it's a 3. So I consider a 3.5 and up for me is good. So if the next episode is above a 3.5 for each of us, I think that
if it gets 10 between all of us,
yeah, at least a 10 between all of us.
Yeah, that's fair, because that means that I can give it a 5, and Evie can give it a 3, and Quinn can give it a 2, and that's still a 10.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
We could just get burgers regardless,
Yeah, but it's fun if there's some steaks. Oh, steak burger.
Oh no!
Mine will be a bean burger, cause fish. Anyway, I'm gonna do the outro now.
Yeah, well, mine will be a keto burger, which they have anyway. So I'm very, very, very tired. Barely can get the word out that just came out of my mouth, and I just said words instead of words. And Quinn is wonderful, and she's going to do the outro for me because I just know I'm not going to be able to do it. So take us away, Quinn.
All right.
Don't know why I did hand gestures there, but I did. Just to assume that I did. It's hot.
The link dump is linked in the description. You can check out our Redbubble, which is also linked in the description, and you can get more than just shirts there. You can contact us and stay updated by sending spam to LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on the episode on YouTube, or message us on our website, LostinTranslationmon.com. There you can vote in polls, check out our release schedule, and check out blog posts. You can also follow us on Twitter, @TranslationMon, where you can also follow us on Lost in Translation Mon on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We also have a discussion thread on With the Will and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit. We'd appreciate it if you would review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or any other type of podcast app you use. Ratings really assist people in finding out about this podcast, so we would be super grateful, and we might read your review if you leave us one. If you were to leave us one. You can donate to our Patreon, which is linked in the description, for as little as $1 a month, which gets you access to our listener Discord server, but there are higher levels with more rewards such as notes, early episodes, and more. I'd like to thank our supporters on Patreon: Joe, Stephen Reeves, who is WildWing64 on Archive of Our Own, Kaidawashi, Chisai, who you can follow on Twitter @Chisai236, Kaya, Lizmet, Electmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Metal Mamemon, Sam, Anthony, Keith from Gone Whale Hunting, a Hunter rewatch podcast, Silverhead Freak 25, Magnus, Lucas, Lineman, Japhus, and Patrick. You can also make a one-off donation on our PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It is paypal.com paypal.me/airdramon. You can also donate to us on the coffee, ko-fi.com/airdra.
You did really well, but I'm not sure my internet cut out or if you said Redbibble.
Oh, she definitely said Redbibble.
Oh, good.
I apparently said Redbibble.
I love
but you know what? That's fine.
I love that. You did really well, considering like that I do terribly, and Redbibble just is definitely an improvement on Redbubble because Redbibble. That's adorable.
From us on our
Boom
Redbibble.
Bibble.
Redbibble sounds like it's a Digimon, but anyway, so thank you for joining me and for doing the outro, Quinn, and thank you for joining me, Evie, and for also volunteering to do the outro because brain, not good, work, bread. I said bread instead of bed. Okay, that means it's time for bed, I guess. So where can we find you, Quinn?
Well, until I quit my job, you can find me in a classroom. And also, I guess, on Twitter, maybe.
And the Moncast, which, obviously...
Not this week.
Where can we find you, Evie? Not this week, but usually. Evie, where can we find you?
You can find me on the Moncast talking about Pokemon and Digimon, and we cut out tons of Pokemon filler, so we'll be less bored from now on.
Yay.
And if you want to hear me be excited about Pokemon and contests in general, like the episode that we recorded this morning, I barely remember doing it because I was like half asleep, but I think I remember unless I was just saying like words that just made no sense and I thought I was putting words out, but it was just like blah 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 blah. I think I sounded okay, and I think I sounded like I was talking about Pokemon, but maybe I was just saying my name over and over again.
I mean,
like
it's still
Pokemon
relevant.
do.
Air.
Yeah, May. Anyway, so thank you for listening to this episode, and we will see y'all on the next one. Bye!
Bye!
Redbibble.
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 I don't know why I wave at the microphone, but I do.